Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the most chaotic way to get your theatre news. This week was very quiet, actually. I am kind of surprised at how quiet it has been. I think it is the quietest news week we've seen in quite a while. But as always, I will give you the news from UK touring theatre and also the West End and other places in London. And if you want to make sure that you are up to date with the news from UK touring theatres, the West End and also the rest of London, make sure you hit subscribe because I do these every single week to varying levels of quality and success. But anyway, let's start, as we always do, with our casting news. We have a couple of stories this week for casting. First off, we're going to head to The Wizard of Oz. This is a fairly simple casting announcement. They've announced most of their casting already. This production is heading back to the West End in the Gillian Lynn Theatre this August after the closure of Standing at the Sky's Edge. It's going to be playing for like a month. I think it's only playing for August and then it's saying goodbye. We still don't know what's going into the Gillian Lynn after that. And that's coming up soon, so we should probably find out soon what's heading up into the Gillian Lynn. That's for a future episode. But anyway, getting back onto track here. This is why I say this is the most chaotic series on the internet, because I don't know what I'm doing. They have announced the two performers who are going to be alternating the role of the wizard, and it is a returning pair of cast members, because they've both been in the show on the tour, and there's Alan Stewart and Alex Bourne, who are both reprising their roles as the wizard as it concludes its UK and Ireland tour at the Gillian Lynn. I saw this production at the Curve in Leicester. I travelled very far for this production, and then it transferred to London, and I haven't seen it where it's actually close to me yet. So now that it's coming back to London, I should probably actually take the opportunity to see it again. I wonder how it's changed. I wonder what's been adapted. And I really want to see the Vivian, because I'm a big Drag Race fan. Next up, we have another casting announcement that's just announced one cast member. There is a real theme with casting this week, but they've just announced one person, or like two people. It's not like a full cast announcement. There's one, but that's about it. And it's not this one, because Anne Juliet has already announced pretty much all of its casting except for the role of Lance. And now that we know, I can tell you, are you ready? Have you got this feeling in your body? How many more references to songs in Anne Juliet can I shove into this announcement? I've gone on a tangent. Oops, I did it again. Okay. Dr. Ranj Singh will be making his musical theatre debut in the role of Lance. So it does look like from this announcement that he is doing the full tour. Typically with celebrity casting announcements, they sometimes be like, yeah, they're just doing these 3 dates. And now you've got to use a full calendar to work out which performance they're playing at. But no, it looks like Dr. Ranj Singh is performing at all of these. Ranj Singh has got a really interesting history. Like, he is a TV presenter, he's an NHS doctor, he's an author, and now he's doing musical theatre. He is someone who has done singing before. He performed on ITV's All-Star Musicals and received high praises, so man can seemingly sing. But he hasn't actually done stage musical theatre before. He hasn't done a tour. So I'm really intrigued. It feels like, from what I know about his work, it feels like he would actually be fairly good in the role of Lance. This is quite good celebrity casting. So I've just got to wait and see. We've got to wait and see. The Anne Juliet tour is coming up. It starts at the Manchester Opera House on the 8th of July. It's coming. It's almost here, and I'm so ready to see the show again. I only saw it once, and I stood, and I feel like I should sit down next time, because it's a long show to stand for. Next up, A Night with Janis Joplin. They have announced another cast member who will be playing Janis Joplin as this show plays at London's Paycock Theatre from the 21st of August to the 28th of September 2024. And that is Sharon Sexton. Now, Sexton will be performing as Joplin at the matinee performances, sharing the role with the previously announced Mary Bridget Davies. So if you want to go see this show all about the star Janis Joplin, you can go and see it at the Paycock Theatre this summer. And also a little bit of autumn, because it goes until the end of September. And finally, in casting news this week, we have Redcliffe. Last week, we announced that Redcliffe is going to head for just a couple of workshop performances, public workshop performances, at the Other Palace Studio, and now we have the full cast. This musical has been written by Jordan Luke Gage, and guess what? It also stars Jordan Luke Gage, who is playing William alongside the rest of the cast, who are Liam Tamney as Richard, Lauren Drew, Nadine Higgin, Leanne Jones, Mateo Johnson, Jessica Lee, Rebecca Locke, Joseph Peacock, Stephen Serlin, Jess Douglas Welsh, and Russell Wilcox. This is at the Upper Palace for the end of May. It's like there from the 29th to the 31st. So if you want to go see Redcliffe as it continues to workshop itself, you can go see it then. And that is it for casting news this week. I said there's not much, but we can continue on to concerts. We did get a couple of announcements this week. First off, we have another original musical which is being workshopped in a concert production. We've seen this for loads of shows. Probably the most popular ones have been Death Note, Your Lie in April. These are a great way to kind of test the waters and work on shows before they get a full production. These are a great way to kind of test the waters with new musicals. I mean, we've seen Babies do it. We've seen loads of different shows work on it and then go on to get full productions. And this time, we have a new original musical called Figaro. Figaro is going to receive 2 special concert performances on the 3rd and the 4th of February, 2025. You got a little while to wait, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. This is a new musical which is set in the mid-1800s Italy and follows Sienna, a young woman yearning to escape her life on her father's farm to pursue her dream of singing. Her life changes when she meets Figaro, a traveling performer who promises to make her dreams come true, but not without a price. Dun dun dun. Dramatic tension ensues. This will be happening at the London Palladium, so if you want to go see a new musical being worked on in a concert performance, you can go see it then. Next up, we have something that's really exciting as well. The writer of Be More Chill, Joe Tracini, will be doing a one-man show at London's Apollo Theatre on the 25th of August at 7:30 p.m. This show is leading on from a documentary that he made, which I still need to watch if I can. I need to try and find it. I don't actually know where I can find it. I will Google that later. But this show is being called 10 Things I Hate About Me and will star Joe Tracini talking about things. Likely 10 things that he dislikes about himself. This is really exciting news. Any Be More Chill fans will probably really love to see this. And yeah, I'm really excited. Hopefully I will manage to catch it. And finally, in concert news, this is kind of a concert. I've put it in here because it's like a one night only thing. So I'm going to say it's a concert, but I think it's a bit bigger than a concert. And it's I'm Still Here. This is a tribute act to Judy Garland, starring Debbie Wildman, the British singing sensation who captured the world attention during the global pandemic with her uncanny recreation of Judy Garland's legendary voice. And she is making her West End debut on Sunday, the 30th of June at the Ambassadors Theatre. So if you're a big Judy Garland fan, if you want to go and celebrate Garland's legacy, which, I mean, who isn't a Judy Garland fan and who doesn't want to celebrate her legacy, you can go and check out I'm Still Here. Now we can head on to our miscellaneous news of the week, starting with Kathy and Stella solve a murder. But now Kathy and Stella will run a workshop or two. They have announced loads of special events and workshops that will accompany the West End opening of Kathy and Stella Solve a Murder at the Ambassadors Theatre. This is really cool. I love when we get to see additional content included alongside different shows. I mean, My Sons Are Queer did this really well, where they had several different post-show talks. I managed to catch one of the post-show talks. I didn't even realize I would be catching one, but I managed to see one. And I love the additional like depth and content you can get and context on a show and its creative process and different people talking about, you know, things that link to the show. I think it's always really, really good to see. And I mean, as someone who just generally loves theatre, I think they're really helpful and fun. So these will run from May to September, and they aim to celebrate and demystify the creative process behind new musicals. There are so many different discussions and workshops that we can talk about here. I have some of the highlights here, which include a discussion between Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yes, that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and producer Francesca Moody, exploring the journey from Edinburgh Fringe to the West End, because obviously we have seen Phoebe Waller-Bridge take Fleabag from Fringe to West End to TV show, and the journey of that has gone on. actually really does mirror the journey of Kathy and Stella Solve a Murder, starting at Fringe, doing regional touring, and now finding a place in the West End. That is going to be happening on the 20th of June. We have best-selling author Anthony Horowitz, who will join the Kathy and Stella writers to discuss the intricacies of plotting the perfect crime. That's happening on the 26th of June. We also have loads of different guests, hosts for post-shows Q&As, including Sarah Pascoe, Nick Mohammed, Rosie Jones, and Giovanna Fletcher. And also, as well, probably one of the ones I'm most excited for is a discussion between 3 different teams of writers on 3 new musicals. We obviously have the team behind Kathy and Stella Solve a Murder, but we also have the writers of Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, all teaming up to discuss their creative journeys and how the shows found themselves to the West End. Which honestly just sounds so exciting. I think that we have really seen like a boom in new musical theatre, especially new British musical theatre over here. And hearing about the journeys and how they've managed to achieve this sounds just so interesting. Which I feel like I need to go and see like that. I need to be there like that. Come on. And if that wasn't enough, if you didn't want to just sit down and watch things, they're also doing workshops. There's so much here that you can dive into. I will leave a link in the description to this site so you can see all the different things that they're running, all the workshops, post-show talks, Q&As. There's so much here. It's so cool to see them really, pushing the boat out and doing so many of these. I can't wait for it. I'm really excited to see Kathy and Stella, and I feel like you should too. And finally, in miscellaneous news, just a really quick one, seeing as I rambled about the last one for so long. Here we are, the final Stephen Sondheim musical has released its cast album. So if you want to go and listen to some of the final music that Stephen Sondheim ever wrote, you can go and listen to it now. I still need to listen to it. I probably will. I'll probably put it on while I'm editing this video. And that's it for miscellaneous news. We can finally move on to our final news segment of this final section of the video, finally. And it is transfers and new productions. First off, we announced previously that Moulin Rouge will be going on a UK and world tour. And they have announced that their first stop will be in Scotland. Moulin Rouge is heading to Edinburgh, specifically the Edinburgh Playhouse, from the 25th of April to the 14th of June 2025. So we can kind of see now, because we didn't quite know what this world tour would look like. It looks like they are doing longer sit-down performances, which probably allows them to, have a bigger set. Because obviously, if you have seen Moulin Rouge in the West End, that set, it's expansive. This is very similar to other shows that they'd be really difficult to tour for short amounts of time. Because typically in the UK, we see shows in each touring venue for about a week. But obviously, currently, if we want to talk about tours at the moment that are doing long stops, stuff like Aladdin, Wicked, Hamilton, and now Moulin Rouge. This will be happening simultaneously to Moulin Rouge in the West End, so don't worry, that show is not going anywhere for the second being. So if you are in Scotland or further up north and can't make it to London, you can head to Edinburgh from those dates to catch a little bit of Rouge. Next up, we got some further details for Super You. What's really interesting about this is that they have given some extra little tidbits about how they've reworked the show. So obviously, talking about shows that started as concerts and then went on to get full productions, Super You initially had a concert at the Lyric Theatre last year, which I went to go and see. This is a musical written and composed by Lords Lane and is getting its first fully staged UK production at the Leicester Curve this autumn. This is going to be running from the 22nd of October to the 9th of November in their studio theatre. And this show has been retooled and reimagined to be a completely sung-through show. Now, I actually think that is an interesting direction to take this show. I think actually some of the best parts of this show was its music. And honestly, I think this show could probably be quite successful if it takes itself in this direction. I think it's an interesting idea, and I'm very intrigued to see if it's one that pays off. So if you are near Leicester and want to catch the first full UK stage production of Super You, you can go and see it from the 22nd of October to the 9th of November. Next up, we have a really exciting play revival of Juno and the Paycock. This iconic Irish play will be returning to the West End at the Gielgud Theatre and will star Tony nominee J. Smith Cameron as Juno Boyle, alongside the legendary Mark Rylance as Captain Jack Boyle, in this brand new revival directed by Groundhog Day and Matilda director Matthew Warchus. This will be running at the Gielgud from Saturday the 21st of September and will run into Saturday the 23rd of November 2024, filling the gap between 222 and Oliver, which has previously been announced to be going to that theatre from December. It's really cool. Nice to see another play heading to the Gielgud. I don't know much about the show, but it looks really, really good. It looks like a really interesting play that I want to go and see. A little taste of Ireland in the West End. Next up, something else, another play that's really, really cool to see and something that came out of left field and really surprised me. Roy Williams and Clint Dyer will bring 3 Deaf of England plays to At Soho Place in the West End. So, if you're unaware, Deaf of England is a series of 3 plays that all premiered at the National Theatre. These plays all ran from the National between 2020 and 2023, with the final one being Closing Time. And what's very interesting is that these 3 plays have never been performed together. And for the first time, they will be staged in the exact same theatre. How this is going to work is that you can watch all 3 plays together, or you can watch them separated as a standalone experience. There's Deaf of England Michael, Deaf of England Delroy, and Deaf of England Closing Time. And these 3 plays will star Papa Esidu, Thomas Combs, Erin Doherty, and Sharon Duncan Brewster, all directed by Clint Dyer. Deaf of England Michael, starring Coombs, will start on the 15th of July. Deaf of England Delroy, starring Esidu, will start on the 23rd of July. And Deaf of England Closing Time, starring Doherty and Duncan Brewster, will start on the 22nd of August. And then from the 22nd of August, all 3 of these plays will be performed in rep until the 28th of September. So if you want to catch 1, 2, or all of these shows, you can head to At Soho Place from the 15th of July. And finally this week, it has been announced that Fantastically Great Women Who Changed the World will be getting a run at the Other Palace. This show, which has had 2 very successful UK tours, will get a 7-week season at the Other Palace from the 20th of July to the 8th of September, with tickets on sale now. This musical is based on the book series of the same name and explores so many different women through history who changed the world. Casting is yet to be announced, but this is a show that I've consistently missed every time it's come. So I'm really excited. I'm really hopeful. Fingers crossed that this time I will be able to see it. But that is all your news for this week. What are you most excited for? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me to have some channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you want to drop me a follow over there. I also have other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today. I hope to see you next time. Enjoy yourself. Have slay. Bye.